Welcome to the Sermon in the Valley with Pastor Rob Eller. You can find us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. If you like what you hear, please subscribe to the podcast on any of those platforms and share it with your friends and family. Thank you. Welcome back to the Sermon in the Valley, everybody. Pastor Rob Eller here with your Thursday episode. It's been a while since I did a Thursday episode. I apologize. Things get in the way in the church. It's kind of the nature of the job. Things pop up at the last minute. Your schedule is always shifting. And there's nothing you really can do about it. So today I want to talk a little bit about an article that's been circulating around the internet through various church websites and clergy groups and whatnot about a pastor in a Presbyterian church who has decided to step back from being a pastor. Not just being a pastor in that particular congregation, but being a pastor altogether. Now, I want to preface this by saying I'm not going anywhere. So for any of you who listen who are members of my congregation or who know me and you think, oh no, is this Pastor Rob's way of stepping back? No, I am in this for the long haul. But that doesn't. I'm not going to discount, or I'm not going to belittle anyone who does need to take a break or needs to step back, because it happens. In the last few years, since the pandemic started, there has been what's been known as the Great Resignation, where people are leaving their jobs in great numbers because they realize that they're not getting what they're worth. They're putting in so much work, so much time, and they're not getting out of it what they should be. They're being mistreated by their employer or by their supervisors, and they're not getting that fulfillment anymore. And I understand that. It's easy to get burned out, and with the way things have shifted because of the pandemic, it is so easy to get burned out. In the first years of the pandemic, working from home became a standard practice among many businesses. Because they figured out, as long as you have a computer and an internet connection, you could work remotely from anywhere and still get your job done. And doing that enabled a lot of people to realize, my time is worth a lot more than what I'm being paid, and it's not easier for me to get this work done at my own pace and still be able to take care of my family. Think back to one of the sermons I gave recently, where I talked about a vocation versus an occupation. An occupation is where you make money and you don't get anything out of it. You go to work, you punch in, you do your job, and you do it solely for the paycheck or for the benefits that come with it, like health insurance, retirement, etc. Whereas a vocation is doing something because you feel called to it. You're doing it for a bigger reason than the paycheck. You're doing it because it benefits others. And many people have realized, you know what? I want to have a vocation rather than an occupation. I want to enjoy what I'm doing. I want to make a difference with what I'm doing and not just grind it out for a paycheck. And so the Great Resignation happened. People were leaving their regular jobs in large numbers and going into business for themselves or finding work that was more fulfilling. And the Great Resignation has also hit churches. Because let's be honest, in this day and age, unfortunately the church has become more business than faith-based nonprofit. So many people treat the church like a business. We have to balance the books, we have to maintain the building, we have to do this and that, and they forget the whole reason why we're here. And as pastors, we're considered head of staff, we're the faces of the church, and so we get the brunt of all the negativity that comes with it. Whenever there's a problem, we're the ones that people come to complain about it. We're the ones who get the blame for whatever goes wrong. And frankly, a lot of my colleagues are getting tired of it. Because they're in churches that are so toxic that all the people in there see that is that they see that as a business. They see it as, we need to have it done our way. We don't care who it affects. And they're just getting tired of it. And I don't blame them in the least. And that happens with any job. That happens with any job. Teachers get burned out, and that's where a lot of the Great Resignation has been happening, is in schools. You'll see on the news that there's a teacher shortage, or a shortage of employees for schools in general, whether it be the teachers or support staff like cafeteria workers, custodians, bus drivers, whatever, because they're getting burned out as well. I used to be a teacher. My wife is a teacher. So I understand the burnout aspect. Now, there are times where, my wife and I have felt in the past that, how can we slog on and do this anymore? How can we take this abuse? How can we take this pain that from being blamed for everything? How can we do this? It's not easy. But when you're in a place where you finally feel recognized and you finally feel like you matter, like the people that you are serving care about you, like in the case of a school, when the students and the parents care about you, when the administration cares about you, in a church, when the congregation cares about you, then you finally realize, okay, I'm in a good place. I'm fortunate enough that I am serving a congregation that does care about me. I serve in a congregation where, every congregation has those people who try to blame the pastor for something, try to, they get angry at the pastor, they try to, attack him attack them for this, that, or the other thing. And I've had that happen here. It's going to happen anywhere you go. The difference here, though, is that I have people who have my back, who say, no, stop. Pastor Rob is doing everything he can for this church. Back off and let him continue to do his work. And so that's why I'm staying. I'm staying where I'm at, because I feel called to this place. My work here is not done. I have so many plans and ideas and things I want to accomplish here for the people of this church, for the church, and for the church as a whole. And those things are finally starting to fall in place after being here for 2 years. Things are falling in place. We are restarting our youth program. We have preschool. Not preschool. We have kids Sunday school again. Sorry. And we've looked at opening a preschool. It's on the back burner for the time being, but we're exploring ways for the church to grow. And I feel called to this place. Not everyone is that fortunate, though. Not everyone has a congregation that has their back like I do, and that pains me. It pains me to see churches that don't value their pastors, that chew them up and spit them out on a regular basis. Every 5 to 10 years, clung a new pastor because they suddenly don't like what this pastor's doing, so we gotta get rid of him, or gotta get rid of her, and they just chew him up and spin him out. And it pains me to watch that happen. So I don't blame some pastors for leaving. I really don't. We are all called to be part of one body, and when we're not accepted by the rest of the body, or the rest of the body decides to attack us, then yes, it is time to leave. And I see so many of my colleagues online who have decided to go on leave from being a pastor and try to explore other ways to fulfill ministry, or they've decided to just altogether leave the church because they just can't deal with it anymore. We need to put a stop to that. We need to be more supportive. We need to have We need to be more supportive on all levels of the church, from the members of the congregation all the way up through the synod level, all the way up to the national level. There seem to be levels of support that, hey, we got your back. Your church is giving you a hard time. Let us help. Let us bring us in. Let us help you solve that problem. Or you need a break? We'll give you a break. Being a pastor is very different than having any other job. And that's just it. A lot of churches treat us like employees rather than us being called. Even though within the structure we are technically not employees, we are independent contractors that are that's a whole mess, and that's something I really didn't. That's a whole mess involving pay and taxes and benefits, and that's just, I don't even want to get into that right now. But we need to be viewed not as employees of the church, but as servants of the church. Because this is not just a job for us, it's a calling. It's something that we feel we need to do. I guess to sum it all up, I'm staying in the church because I'm fortunate. Not everyone is, though. And I pray for a time when I pray for a time when all my colleagues across all denominations will be treated fairly and equally and valued like they should be. No matter what church any of you go to, ask how your pastor's doing. Check in on them. See if they need any help. See if they need a break. Give them the help they deserve. I mean, they are your pastor. They're not a punching bag for you to just complain to all the time. Check in on them. See how they're doing. Thank you for tuning in today. I know this was a shorter episode than usual. Share this episode with anybody who goes to church, anybody who has contact with a pastor. Let them know that their pastor matters to them. You can find us on multiple platforms. We are on Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and Google Podcasts. Subscribe to us anywhere on any of those platforms. God's peace be with all of you. Have a blessed day.